This is either the beginning of something or the end of nothing. Not sure yet. My name's Chris. I've been playing with Volkswagens now for about 10 years or so. Focused mainly on Mark 1s. Started out with a 1985 Volkswagen Cabriolet. Daily drove that in the Northeast, about an inch and a half from the ground for about 6 years. Very fun car, very tight, and thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's kind of what spiked my appreciation and love of Volkswagens. While I had the 89 Cabriolet, I went through probably 20-25 different Volkswagens that I bought and kept for a little bit or fixed and sold. Some of the highlights, I guess, would be 81 diesel pickup. That was one of my favorites. Being 6'1", though, I did not fit very well in it, so I eventually sold it. Then I had a 73 Westfalia camper. That was really fun. I actually had the camper, the Caddy, and the Cabriolet at the same time, so I kind of felt like I had a car for every situation, which was cool. I ended up selling all of those. Got a 2009 Tiguan, which I wasn't really the biggest fan of. Didn't like the turbo leg, didn't like the floatiness of an SUV, and ended up picking up another Cabriolet later on for about $500 in a barn. And I spent the greater part of 4 years completely restoring that car, putting on air ride, putting a bunch of different little things. I'll link to the for sale video that I had. I have sold it, but it was a fun project. There's a lot of tiny little details. I even put some woodwork into it. But right now I have a 2013 Volkswagen Golf. I'll flip the camera around so you can see it here. Just finished detailing it. Basically just washed it, and I know you guys are probably gonna be disgusted at this, but I wash it with Dawn dish soap, and then I usually do a speed wax of some sort, like just kind of like a wipe on wipe off wax. I bought this in February last year for about $5,300. It's had 135,000 miles on it. It's been like 9 months, and I think it only has 137 now. So I have a truck that they provide me for work, so I don't get to drive this as much as I'd like, but I started going right through it when I got it. Definitely a mod-itis sort of person. I just can't stop doing things to the car. I think the first thing that I did to it might have been the VLand headlights. They've got, let's see if I can activate it here. They've got the sweeping turn signals. They've got the UU projector bulbs. I also did the blinkers on the side mirrors as well. Walking around here, I got these 1552 chicanes. They are ET35 18 by 8.5. They got a little bit of poke to them. I haven't messed with camber or anything to get them to tuck in because I haven't really decided what I want to do as far as lowering the car. Got a little bit of wheel gap here that I don't like the look of, but I haven't really driven the car enough to bother with it quite yet. I also have the VLand tail lights. They also have the sweeping turn signals. A couple stickers for comedic relief. Never been, probably never will. And another one here because I hear people who drive standards are obsessed with telling people that they still drive a standard. It's kind of true, I guess. Let's see. Got this little Rockford amp. It's powered. Sounds good enough for a tiny hatchback car. I've replaced pretty much all of the interior parts other than the actual headliner, which is coming next. But I got the A, B, and C pillars out of a black GTI in a junkyard, and then got the rest of the accoutrements on the the roof as well. The handles, the visors, the center console, and the map lights in the middle. Got these little things on AliExpress. I think they were like a couple bucks a piece. They're made for hanging grocery bags or whatnot. Just keeps things from bouncing around in here. Pulled that logo from a bug in the junkyard, and also found this in the junkyard. I've actually replaced all the first aid stuff with things that are not extremely out of date. Not sure if this was added for street cred or horsepower, but previous owner admittedly said this was his first car. Carbon fiber wrapping things is definitely a good way to get street cred. Took this spoiler off of a GTI in a junkyard. People were saying it's not possible to put these on a base Golf, but you actually can very easily. The original adhesion method was just some two-sided tape. Popped it off, unscrewed a couple things, had to do some wiring. I can link in my build thread, I guess, for how to pop that off and do that. I think I've got a lot of detail on that. Let's see. Let me pop the hood real quick. I believe in the first couple weeks I had the car, I also did the in-gen cold air intake. This has been very nice, adds some fun noise. The connection here was a little janky. It didn't say it was made for this car. It said it was like a year after, which I thought was strange because they're all about the same, but I had to end up hacking off a little bit of the tube just to be able to get it to fit so that the secondary intake hose breather things could actually connect. Beetle engine cover, because why not? Yes, I painted it almost to the color of the car. I used some random paint I had, touch-up paint from my wife's RAV actually. Some stickers. And why not flaunt that you were driving the base model? Also, this emblem I got off AliExpress. It was $75. It is pretty neat. It's dynamic, so when you turn it on, it goes through about 5 or 6, maybe even more different dynamic sweeps, either up, down, left, right, all the way around. I have a short that I will link to as well, so you can see how that works. Other things I've done to the interior. Pulled these pedals from a GTI in a junkyard. That little heel plate I got off AliExpress for pretty cheap. Pulled these off of a GTI in a junkyard. I believe the steering wheel came out of an EOS, if I'm not mistaken. Had to replace the airbag, the clock spring, had to wire some other things to get that to work, but all in all it was fairly good. Rewrapped the door cards. I made these little Velcro things. If you have a Mark 6, you know that these are really quick to degrade and turn into goo, as well as the center console. I got this little pad thing to kind of help be more comfortable and keep my knee off of it so that it doesn't turn this one into goo. This actually came with the car. Don't know where they got it. This came from a GTI. Those came from AliExpress. I made that. Oh, another AliExpress thing. I've mostly converted the car to Climatronic. I got this on eBay. I got the custom bezel on AliExpress. When I found these Golf R seats in a junkyard listing, I installed those. I got the lumbar working as well as the heated seats, which are wired to the Climatronic, so that all works. I have a Climatronic air direction system, or whatever you want to call it, air box, that I eventually will swap in, but I have been kind of dreading pulling the heater core out and all of that to get that to work, as well as I have to pull the entire dash and everything you see here in order to get that box out, including the crash bar that goes underneath the entire dash. So someday I'll do that, and when I do, I will video it so you all can join in my misery. I also got this cool phone charger off of AliExpress. It holds a charge on its own, and it will kind of hold your phone. It also does wireless charging when the thing is plugged in, and I have this plugged into this head unit. The head unit is an Eonon. It's like a 12 6G something or other. It's awesome. It does everything. It's basically a huge Android phone. If you put a SIM card in it, it could actually operate exactly as a cell phone, which is kind of neat. I probably will never do that, but it's cool to have the option. So what is my goal with this vehicle? Well, to mostly just be a daily, but to keep myself busy, little things to do to it. I don't know that I'll do any engine mods and whatnot. If I do, I would probably need another vehicle that I could trust, because I don't want to mod the vehicle that I have to drive and make it less efficient and reliable. The reason that I got this car has the 2.5 inline 5, which is extremely reliable. It also has the 5-speed transmission, again, very reliable, and I'm getting over 30 miles to the gallon on 87 grade fuel, which is allowing me to drive this very cheaply. So I'd probably like to continue to do that. I do really like this car. I also like the look of the base model front end. I believe this car was in an accident before. As you can see, this side of the bumper doesn't really look like it should. The car was also black, and they had it painted the United Gray color. I have a new bumper that I've primed, and I'm just waiting to buy paint to paint it. Hopefully I can get it to match mostly. But I like the look of this front end better than the GTI. And maybe it's just because a lot of people have the GTIs and mod them, so it seems a little played out. Not that I don't appreciate them, but this is a little different, which I appreciate. Let's see if I can let you hear the tone of the exhaust. I left the resonator and the cat on, but I had a Borla, I think it was like a Pro SX or something, added to it in the stock 2.25 diameter piping. It's not a huge change, but it does give it a little more throatiness. So I'm just gonna put the phone down underneath the exhaust and see if you can hear it. I just washed the car, so if you're wondering what that water was underneath the tailpipes, that's what it is. Here's a little quick sweep of the interior. Let me see if I can zoom out a little. There we go. The headrests I pulled from an Audi A4, I believe, out of the junkyard. The original headrests were very tall and definitely impeded vision from behind the car, so I pulled those out. But definitely looking forward to doing the headliner. Previous owners had it replaced, but it looks like trash, so I'd like to replace it. Oh yeah, I got this cool dash cam here. Start recording. The dash cam came from AliExpress. It was cheap. It was like $25 or so. It has this little sensor in it that you wire to 2 different fuses, and it will sense the voltage, and if it drops below, I think 11.8 volts, it'll actually turn it off so it doesn't completely drain your battery. It's worked pretty well. You connect to it via Wi-Fi on your phone. It like creates its own Wi-Fi signal. When you connect to it though, you have to turn off the cellular service on your phone if you have an iPhone, because iPhones will default to cellular if there's not an internet signal on a Wi-Fi signal. Yeah. Took me a while to figure that out, but it actually works very well, and the resolution's pretty good. I don't drive this car very often, so I usually leave it unplugged if I know I'm not going to drive it for a couple days, just because why take voltage out of the battery if I don't have to. Little random tree frog guy that I found while wrapping up my hose. It has nothing to do with the Volkswagen, but it's pretty cool. Somewhat immediate plans for the car: do the headliner, paint the bumper. Previous owner lost the inner fender wells, the lips underneath the bumper, as well as the skid plate. So I found all those at a junkyard. I have those ready to put in the car as well. And I have a bunch of stuff in my AliExpress cart, a bunch of little doodads and whatnot, just to kind of jazz up the look. One thing that I did do to the car not too long ago is when backing out of my garage, I backed right into this thing, and I don't know if you can see it here. There we go. I actually broke this completely off. I was able to find another one at the junkyard, swapped it on, but I just haven't ordered another dynamic thing yet. And the little crack underneath here bothers me, even though it doesn't do anything to its functionality. I also have new wiper arms to put on that I grabbed at a junkyard. These ones are pretty weather beat. You can see paint's coming off of them. Another quick thing that I did to the car, these neat little warning lights. I have some sort of little projector underneath. Projects a nice little Volkswagen emblem. It looks blue at night, can't really tell right now. Let's see, what else? Oh, these little things, AliExpress, these little plates, junkyard. Also have the Euro switch in as well, so I can do fog lights. I've got some yellow fogs, or I guess the fogs are normal, but the bulbs are yellow. I have not installed the Euro fogs. It's kind of like a backup fog light, I guess, that they use in Europe. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it's either is the beginning of something or the end of nothing. Not really sure. But I'd like to share my Volkswagen escapades with you guys. I do it a lot on the VwVortex forum, but I think this is a little more interactive and could be a little more fun. So for the time being, thanks for watching, and I'll try to come up with some more content soon. Thanks. See you.